Here to explain some of the features of this new arrangement are two helpers to the teaching committee, Brothers Ronald Curzan and David Schaefer.
That was an announcement. The change in the midweek meeting is huge, and it's not just a modification, a few little tweaks. It's a whole new beginning.
True. So now the big question is, what can we expect from the midweek meeting? Well, here's a quick breakdown of the three main sections. First, we have treasures from God's Word. Next, apply yourself to the field ministry. And then, living as Christians.
So let's get started. First, treasures from God's Word. This part begins with a 10-minute talk based on the weekly Bible reading. But what really makes the new meeting so special is the addition of our new workbook.
Exactly. Look at how these illustrations match beautifully the outline that's been provided for this talk. These include maps, graphics, even videos.
An introduction to the book of Ezra. The book was written by Ezra, a priest from the family line of Aaron. Ezra was a man of faith who made a diligent study of the scriptures.
All of these provisions will help us to visualize what's going on in these Bible accounts, to understand it, and keep it burning brightly in our memories.
Up next is Digging for Spiritual Gems. I just love that title. What can we expect in this part?
Well, this is an active audience discussion based on the week's Bible reading, 8 minutes.
These two parts are like receiving precious gems of Gilead training 1 week at a time. And then we close out this section with a Bible reading.
So there we have our treasures from God's Word. But now, what's the best way to share them?
This is where the next part comes in, this section. It is entitled, Apply Yourself to the Field Ministry.
And the beauty of this part is that all the source material for the student assignments is the literature that will be featuring that week, that month in the field ministry.
Now that makes perfect sense.
Now let me ask you, how do you feel when you have an opportunity to watch a video at the Kingdom Hall?
Personally, I love watching all the videos, and I'm sure the audience does as well.
So, first meeting every month, we'll have a chance to see 3 videos focusing on the current literature presentations.
Excellent. Would you like to see a sneak peek? We know you would. Let's watch.
Good morning. My name is Cassie, and this is my friend Laura. May I ask your name?
I'm Susan.
Nice to meet you, Susan.
You too.
You have a beautiful home here. I can tell that you put a lot of effort into making it look so nice.
Thank you. I enjoy working on it.
It certainly shows. I'm here today because I'd like your opinion.
Well, that was fantastic. We knew that you would enjoy that. It was so simple, so easy to remember. But what can we expect for the rest of the month?
So for the rest of the meetings that month, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, sometimes 5th week, we'll have student assignments centered on one of the following settings: initial call, making the return visit, conducting a Bible study.
I love this section because we'll be watching videos, we'll be having presentations from the students. With all this great content, what if there's an interesting point that I want to make note of and write down?
No problem at all. The workbook has been designed with more space for taking personal notes. In fact, on the front of the workbook, you even have an area where you can create your own field service presentation.
So in review, section 1, we have our treasure. Section 2, we're sharing that treasure with others. And section 3 is equally vital because all of this knowledge would be wasted if we were not applying it. Thus, the 3rd section is entitled Living as Christians. And what will this be?
So we have an opportunity to hear some talks, watch more videos. There'll be a question and answer discussion, all centered on focusing on Bible principles and how they apply in our modern lives.
Love the sound of that.
So here we've given you a general overview, gone over the 3 main sections, but we haven't delved into every detail. And there's a reason for that. because the governing body has approved the release of a full-length sample life and ministry meeting video to be posted on JW Broadcasting, and it'll be available this afternoon. You'll be able to watch the whole thing in real time and see how each of the parts flow.
I know we are all excited to watch that this afternoon. You will also be happy to know that our Christian Life and Ministry Meeting Workbook will be provided in electronic formats on jw.org, in the Watchtower Online Library, and the JW Library app. And what about those printed editions?
Well, those will be coming through the congregations in the usual way. And notice the color coding on each of the aspects of the meeting. There's a method to that.
So silver for treasures from God's Word, wheat color for apply yourself to the field ministry, and burgundy color for living as Christians.
And the color corresponds to the color bar at the top of other articles that will be used during that part of the meeting.
Well, that will really help us to follow along during the meeting. So we have our printed editions of the workbook. We have our workbook on the JW Library app. But let me ask you, did you ever feel that the JW Library app would be a little more useful if you could highlight portions of text?
That seems like a resounding yes. And yet, that is not an easy thing to bring about. Nevertheless, you'll be happy to know that next month, when you go to the JW Library app, you'll be able to find the meeting workbook, scroll to the appropriate section, tap any link, and highlight the text right in the app.
Can't wait to make use of that. What an awesome privilege it is for all of us to be part of such a progressive organization.
Totally agree. The new meeting, the meeting workbook, the updated app all give evidence that Jehovah is our grand instructor and that he equips us with everything we need to do his will.
Jehovah knows the power of visual teaching, and the new life and ministry meeting captures that power and brings the Bible to life with beautiful illustrations and videos. As I mentioned earlier, when we read portions of Isaiah 60:17, Jehovah promised, instead of the copper, I will bring in gold. The copper was good, but the good just got even better.